Thank you for joining us today. Dr. Melanie Krell and myself are really pleased to be here and to talk a little bit about the Biological and Engineering program in the Agriculture and Biological Engineering Department.
Yes. Hello, everyone.
So we're going to start off with a summary of the program so that you have a better idea what biological and engineering really is about. So Melanie, could you tell us a little bit about that?
Okay. Biological engineering is using engineering principles to help promote sustainability and to look at using biological systems to improve our lives. And some examples of this would be in food production. Biological engineers are working from the field all the way back down into the wastewater. So it goes through the processing, the growing, the consumption, the packaging, and the recycling of it to minimize food waste in a sustainable manner. So that's an example of what biological engineers do. And they also work in the area of biotechnology. So they could be producing your drugs, your penicillins, and your biofuels that you're driving around in your cars with.
So what would you say would be different about biological engineering compared to some of the other engineering disciplines?
This is a question that we often get. How do we compare to something like biomedical engineering, for example? When I ask that question, I always say, we do everything beyond the clinical. So we're looking at from microorganisms to ecosystems and how we can maintain, study them, and apply engineering principles to make them more sustainable or to use them for different products, for example.
Right. And the kind of person that typically becomes a biological engineer, are they the kind of person that likes to sit in the office, go out in the field, a little bit of both? What would you say would draw someone to this profession?
Biological engineers do all of it. You will be in the field or in the laboratory, depending on what your system is that you're working with, but you'll also be on the computer doing data analytics, programming, modeling, all sorts of image analysis, for example. So if you're the type of person that likes a diversity, biological engineering might be right for you. Also, biological engineers are what I consider tinkerers, trying to understand what's behind the system and how it works so you can tweak it to make it work for you.
Right. I think that's a great description. In ABE, we also have concentrations under biological engineering. We have 4 different concentrations that allow students to further specialize in how they want to apply their biological side of their program. So Melanie, could you tell us a little bit about that?
Sure. We have 4 programs, as she mentioned: Biosystems Engineering, Land and Water Resource Engineering, Packaging Engineering, and Agricultural Production Engineering. The Biosystems Engineering, often students are interested in food production or biotechnology or biofuels. Those would be the 3 main industries that I see students end up going in. The Land and Water Resources Engineering, this is looking at water quality and water quantity and looking at how we can be more sustainable in our water resources. And that can be from farm into ecosystem level. So it's really a broad land and water issue. Packaging engineering, and the question arises, why is packaging engineering in an ag and biological engineering? And it really belongs here. The reason being is we all know there's a lot of plastics out there. We need to be able to make more sustainable plastics, and these are often bio-based plastics. So you'll buy these water bottles that are plant-derived bioplastics. But at the other end, how are we going to clean up all these plastics? We can use biological systems that degrade the plastic and use it as a food source, as well as making alternative energy sources like biofuels. So packaging engineering fits well within our program. And finally, the ag production engineering is our traditional ag, where we're looking at mechanization, precision agriculture, drones, for looking at modeling of crop systems. So more on the production side and the traditional ag engineering programs.
Do we have any questions from the audience? Okay, I see no questions. So let's move on to what happens when you get to UF and you're getting ready for your first year. As students arrive, they'll go through preview. Preview for engineering is a little different than other disciplines. So Melanie, could you tell us a little bit about how preview works?
Well, the preview program allows students to experience the campus. They also get to go through different tours of the components of living on campus. And there's ability for them to be able to interact with potential departments that they might be interested in working with.
And so when you come to campus, if you're interested in biological engineering, please make an appointment with us. We'd love to have you come visit. It would be probably right at the end of your preview visit, but we'd love to have you and talk more with you about our department and the opportunities we have here.
Absolutely.
One thing also to keep in mind is during preview, you will have the chance to look at the coursework for freshman year, and that coursework is a common coursework for all freshmen. Maybe you could talk a little bit about how that works.
Sure. So when you come into the biological engineering program, or any engineering program, you typically start your first 2 years with core engineering courses that are required across all engineering disciplines. So you take your physics, you take your calculus, you take statics and dynamics, the things that all engineers typically have to take. After your 2 years, or towards your second year, you may start taking your discipline-specific courses. And so, for example, our department offers an Introduction to Biological Engineering course that really gives you the fundamental principles of engineering and how they're applied to biological engineering. And so you get to experience different aspects of the engineering and how it works in our department.
Okay, great. And what other opportunities might freshmen have to engage in the department?
Our department has a very rich culture of undergraduate research experiences. So I myself have, I think, 4 undergraduate students working in my lab, and their areas of expertise range from growing plants in a hydroponic unit to designing sensors that can be wireless. So again, it depends on what their area of interests are, but most of the students have opportunities to be able to experience research, as well as opportunities to work with the clubs. So we have 2 very active clubs. One is the ASABE club, and that is the American Society of Agricultural and Biological Engineering, as well as the AOM club, which integrates very close to our biological engineering program or clubs. So there's that opportunity. Let's see what else.
Packaging club.
Oh yes, the packaging club as well, and they get to compete at the national meetings. There's sometimes a water fountain war, an engineering design students put on to compete against other schools as well. So
yeah, there's a lot of opportunities. We also have the Robotics Competition. Last year we were award winners in robotics, so we welcome students that are interested in being part of the Robotics Competition. We also participate in Regional Rally, where students get to go and coordinate with other universities. So we do spend energy and resources on helping students develop not only their skills in the classroom, but their skills out of the classroom in these professional settings, whether it is when we take students to different events, or we have industries come in and speak to the students. So that helps them develop in more than one way. So once a student has gone through the process and is approaching graduation, there's a lot of opportunities for our graduates. Maybe we could discuss some of those career options.
Sure. Our students A good proportion of them often go on to graduate school for more specialized training depending on where they want to go on their next level of their career. So a good portion of our students are headed off to graduate schools, and that could be in the bioengineering programs, the other engineering programs, but or in the biological engineering discipline. The other area, industry-wise, we have a lot of student placement at large companies like Kraft, for example, Anheuser-Busch. We have Tropicana, consulting companies, land and water consulting companies around the state, as well as national. Biotech, Johnson & Johnson is one example. And food. We have Keebler, one student who is making cookies. So we really do have a lot of industry opportunities for students once they graduate.
That's true. Do we have any questions from the audience? No? Okay. So the next topic that we have are some tips for students that are interested in joining the department or learning more about the department. These tips are from our advisor, Miss Robin Snyder, who couldn't be here today, but she will be one of the best resources for all students who join our department. So be sure and contact Robin regularly. One thing is that after you go through preview and you have your course assignments, you're also welcome to come to the department and talk to an advisor. So to have a more one-on-one experience and to go over those courses and make sure they make sense for you. When you're thinking about this and you come in to talk to different advisors, you can discuss the different concentrations. So if you're not sure which concentration you're interested in or you have questions about that concentration, we really welcome those questions to talk that out with you so that you understand better each pathway. And you also have the ability to make meetings with individual faculty who may be in that specialty that could answer really precise questions about that. Yeah. I know Melanie probably gets quite a few students that come and talk to you about biosystems and the future in that profession.
And this is all online as well. So on our website, if you're interested in the curriculum, we do have those posted on our website. So definitely look it over, and then we can help you answer any questions about particular coursework that you might want to have questions about.
Right, and we have a really nice website thanks to our marketing professional who's also videoing us today. And so please feel free to go through the website, learn as much as you can about the department. There's pages on the different clubs that can give you information on how those function and when they meet. We also have an ABE blog. It's ufabe.blogspot.com that's for students. Job postings are on this site, information about meetings, all kinds of opportunities that might be of interest to students will be posted here. So it's a great resource to find out more about the kind of activities that are occurring in the department for students. So please check that out. Okay, so to go over a few last minute questions, if you're interested in learning more about ABE and you've reviewed the website, you might say, well, what's the next step? What is the next thing I should do? What do you think the next step would be?
Contact us.
And so, who would you contact? Of course, Dr. Carell is an excellent contact. You can also contact me. We will have a new faculty member joining us, Dr. Anna Martin-Wiles, and she'll be here in May, so you may contact her, or Miss Robin Snyder. All of us would be excellent contacts for the BE program.
And you can find our contact information on the website.
Okay, and the best way to do that is to send an email, I think, probably.
Yeah, probably.
To send us an email. Let's see. I think that's all the questions I had written down. So we would like to thank you for coming today and listening to our live Facebook chat.
Yeah.
If you have questions, you're always welcome to contact us, and we look forward to seeing you in the fall.
Yes. See you then.